This is Dying Your Way.
Welcome everyone to the Dying Your Way podcast. I am Claire O'Berry and I am your host. And today we're going to talk about a very important topic, which is looking at your home and the safety of your home so you can die a natural death at home when it's your time. And before I start on this very important topic, I want to just clean up something that I found on YouTube that is an extra step. I don't mind that it's there, but there was a, when I went to the Dying Your Way YouTube page, before you could actually enter into the YouTube link, you get you're not alone, and it's encouraging you to call a suicide hotline or something along that nature. I think there were topics spoken of earlier that had to do with that, which were educational in nature, but it's flagged the YouTube website. So if you don't mind, I'm going to try to contact them to take that down because it's about death literacy. It is certainly not about taking your own life. But take that extra step. Just know that it's there. It says you're not alone. If you're someone you know is having a hard time, talk to somebody today. And then it gives a place to call. I mean, and those notifications are important. I'm not saying they are not, but it is something that came up on this YouTube channel. So be aware of that. And we're not advocating that at all. In fact, and this will come up in the conversation today, we advocate a natural death. I have worked with clients that did medical aid in dying, and we've had topics about VSAD, which is voluntary stopping eating and drinking. And I am here to support people wherever they are, but we really advocate a natural death because if you have good palliative care, that's just a very easeful and loving way to go. So before we get started about the safety of the home, let's talk about what is a natural death. A natural death is not hastening or delaying death, just letting it take its natural course. But again, that is with good palliative care under the direction of hospice or a clinician, a doctor that is supporting you to do that. And it gives you autonomy, it gives you dignity, and dying at home helps you create a space that you're very comfortable in and the people that are supporting you are comfortable in. And we're going to talk about ways to make that quite nice. But keep in mind the things that we're talking about, the principles that we talk about today are principles that you could apply really if you are in a facility. Anywhere you go in your different transitions that you make, you want to keep these same principles in mind that have to do primarily with the safety and security of you. So, again, getting into a situation where you are anticipating death and you are supported by a hospice team does not mean that you are giving up by any means. It is stopping the curative treatments where now the disease has progressed far enough where the benefits that you would receive from the curative treatments no longer work, or there's just too big of a downside to it. And it's a choice, an informed choice that you have made, or you made it early on with your primary caregiver and your medical power of attorney. This is when you are ready to stop CPR, stop. You wouldn't put in a feeding tube now. You wouldn't intubate yourself now. You wouldn't do an IV drip now. You might have oxygen to help comfort in breathing, but you're mainly getting symptom management and pain management, and it is under clinicians in hospice care and a doctor overseeing that. So ask yourself, at what cost do you want to continue your life? And again, this will be different for different people. But if you really have answered the question to yourself, what kind of life do I want to live? Then you can also ask yourself, what kind of death do I want to have? 80% of people, and this is Stanford survey, European surveys, it's almost always the same number. 80% of the people want to die in their own home. The 20% that don't want to die in their own home, maybe they're trying to protect their family, thinking it would be a horrible memory or something. I would say the opposite, but again, it's your choice, so it's what you want. I know here where I am locally, the hospice is so beautiful. It is so peaceful, and there's such great care. That could be the best choice for some people. And if you've looked at different facilities, hospice facilities where they may provide that, look at this before time and evaluate their ambiance and how that makes you feel. So to stay at home, you have to have an advanced care directive in place. You would want to have a DNR in place, do not resuscitate. You do have palliative care and hospice care access that is supporting you. And you have support for transportation, for meals, caregiving, and house cleaning help. Those are, and depending on where you are, what country you are in, where I am here in Western Australia, they have what they call age benefit packages. And as your needs progress, those benefits increase. And they are getting more and more to where, they are supporting people to die at home. And there's great community nursing here, so you'd want to know what kind of in-home health care is provided. And, or maybe you just know you have a large network of friends and families that will come in and support the primary caregiver. All of these people have your end-of-life plan. And again, if you have an end-of-life doula, they can help manage and negotiate all that. So you are thinking ahead and you have the people and the resources in place to be at home. So to know if you are a good candidate, there's some questions you can ask yourself, and I'll just go over them with you. Is your main caregiver close by? And are they in good health? Okay. Can you build a team yourself, a network of friends and families and professionals? Hired help, perhaps. You can afford that. Is your home safe and accessible? We're going to get into this quite a bit. Do you feel socially isolated? If you feel socially isolated and depressed, you may not be a good candidate to stay at home. If you are going through a emotional and mental repercussions of your disease, you might be better off in a facility, quite honestly. And can you afford home-based care? In different countries, this isn't an issue, but certainly in the United States right now it is, and it's kind of up in the air what level of care can support you to stay at home. We're going to be talking about that more in another episode, getting into specifics about the new bill that passed, not for this episode. So what you're going to do, and the goal is that you are making an informed choice about what is in your best interest and what really meets your desires for having quality end-of-life care, but staying in your own home. That would be my preference. I'm biased in this choice, I'll just tell you. Okay, so let's talk about how important it is to adapt your home so you can stay at home, and safety and security and your comfort are primary. So I don't know how many of you are fans of Marie Kondo, the Netflix series called Tidying Up. I love it. I love it. I love it. And or maybe some of you have read the oh God, I'm blanking, Swedish book of death cleaning. I'm sorry, it's there, Magnuson. Both of those are excellent resources to tidy up your house. So first thing you want to do is declutter. Declutter. Your family, after you're gone, are going to have to go through all of this. Do you want them to go through all of this? It's such a chore to do that. I've done it for my mother and my father, other people. Yeah, you don't want other people to declutter for you. So I would suggest right now, everybody can do it, and do your own Swedish death cleaning, and make that a habit, continually downsizing, because let's face it, we all have too much stuff. We don't need all this stuff. How many potato peelers do you need, really? So if you have 3 potato peelers, just keep one, the one that looks the best and works the best. And the rest of them you're going to give away to a garage sale, to a charity, to other people that need a potato peeler. You just don't need 3. And I love a home that is clutter-free, and I don't always live that way, but when I do, maybe company's coming over and we've done a great cleaning, I just feel so good. So it lifts the energy of the room. And of course, if you have things all over the floor, and it's a fall hazard, so you've got to certainly keep the floor space clutter-free, and you have to keep the working spaces where you work clutter-free. Another thing is walking aids. Now, you may be fine right now, but with some diseases particularly, you will, as the disease progresses, go to a cane or maybe a walker or maybe even a wheelchair. So look at your home, because now you know the prognosis of your disease, right? You've had the conversation with your doctor. So you know the prognosis of your disease. Look at your home from that point of view. Can you easily maneuver a walker through this space? Are the halls wide enough to get a wheelchair through? Now they're making them actually designed for smaller hallways, but you've got to be able to navigate yourself. You want to be independent for as long as possible, right? So with walkers and canes, and you want to remove rugs, any kind of wires, anything like that. And if you can, and you need to widen the paths for mobility. You want to improve the lighting. So I love natural light. I mean, the more you can let natural light pour in, the better. My mother really didn't. She liked it dark, and she didn't like, so much light. And Well, I think part of that was her disease too. She had Alzheimer's, and at one point felt like people were listening to her, and so she kept everything like shuttered and closed off and stuff. But if that's the case, then you need to keep the lights on during the day. And at nighttime, it's really important, and Terry and I have this now, when you're getting up in the middle of the night, that lights automatically come on. So they're motion sensor lights. And that's just so inexpensive and easy to put in there. So sensor lights that turn on when you're moving around in the dark. You want to install grab bars everywhere in your walking path that you need them. And certainly that would mean in the bathroom, because that's where most falls occur, are in the bathroom. So having grab bars that are very secure that you can hold on to. In my house in Texas, I mean, when I built it for, when Mother and Daddy were alive, I mean, every bathroom by the toilet, there's a grab bar to get down, grab bar to get up. And so you want to be sure any place where you need to hold on to something, that you've got grab bars. So this is like toilets, showers, bathrooms, hallways, things like that. I give an example in the training of one loving son who was doing everything he could to keep his mother home for as long as possible. And he literally installed ballet bars down the hallway and in the bathroom. I mean, he had hold on to get up and over a bathtub, which, okay, we'll get into that in a minute. But just really making it easy for her to get in and out of, which are fall areas, which is the tubs particularly. So modify the bathroom. So you want to, and hospice will provide this medical equipment, shower chairs and toilet seats, high toilet seats that go over the toilet seat. And we want to age in place where we are in Texas and in Australia. And here in Australia, we need to add another bathroom or modify the bathroom that we have so a wheelchair can go in and out, or there are grab bars to go to a sitting, on a sitting shower seat with a handheld shower device to, and I'm not saying it's inexpensive, but it's not as expensive as you might think if all you need to do is to change the shower head to a handheld shower head. So the bathroom is where most people fall. And in the UK, I think there was a statistic that 1 in 5 people over 65 had a serious fall every year. And it's one of the leading causes of deaths in the UK. And so I'm extrapolating that that's probably true everywhere. So you want to do everything you can to mitigate any kind of fall risk that you have. The next most common, and you fall, you break a hip, you can't be treated at home. All of a sudden you're off of hospice care and you're in the hospital and you're getting treated for the broken bone in your hip. And so that's something that would send you to the hospital, even if you don't want to go to the hospital. The second reason that people go to the hospital once they're on hospice care would be because of impacted bowels. So this is extremely painful, and the surgery is how they fix that. You can get ahead of that you can order this on Amazon. I hate to give them a plug, but maybe a local medical equipment store would have it. That would be preferable. But put a pretty cheap on Amazon. Put it around the base of the toilet. It's a stool, and you put your feet up on it, and you're in a more ergonomic position to have a bowel movement. And I would definitely get one of those if you have a problem with constipation. Um, and get a start with taking Metamucil earlier, so you don't get in a position where you're needing to um, have medical assistance because you have impacted bowels. So again, this is just to prioritize making it available to you to stay at home. Stair lifts, they're expensive, but they work. And if you are on a second floor or you prefer to be on a second floor, you will need a stair lift. And at the top of the stair lift and at the bottom of the stair lift, you will want to have grab bars to get up and down, or your walking aids if you have them. Maybe put a cane at the top, cane at the bottom, walker at the top, walker at the bottom, so you can get in the seat and out of the seat with support easily. It's costly, but if you want to stay in an upstairs room, that's what you're going to need. Medical alert systems. I've fallen, but I can't get up. That's the refrain that we all know. Oh, people have resistance to this, and I do not know why. But wearable jewelry, wearable technology. Now, it used to be like, a necklace, a pendant that had a button that you would press. Now you can have, a watch that you're wearing that can somehow be connected to someone that's on alert 24/7 to if you have fallen. There are a lot of different medical life alert companies that do this. Do your due diligence and read your reviews. Know what you're paying for. But if you have a caregiver that's not with you overnight, your primary caregiver, this is, I would say, essential to have. So if you do fall, they are immediately alerted and can respond quickly. The whole idea is that not to save your life, but not having you be in excruciating pain for a long period of time because you broke a bone and you can't move. So wearable technology, I highly recommend. There's also GPS monitors that you can put in insoles of a shoe. So if the sundowner syndrome is an issue where people wander, Alzheimer's patients often do this. If you have wearable technology, then you know where they are all the time. Also, with Mother, that was a little before her time, but again, we had motion sensors, and I had it on each of the entrances and exits of the doors to the house and even to the outside gate. So when someone was coming in to the home area or out of the home area, I could hear it, and I would get an audio alert to pay attention. Sometimes it was the wind, sometimes it was an animal, but in the long term, I'm just really glad that I did it because of the peace of mind that it gave me as a primary caregiver. Cameras. Now, whether you're in a facility or assisted living or even in your home, having a camera in the bedroom helps you monitor. Think about where we are with baby monitors now and how important it is to monitor a newborn baby. This is life going in reverse. It is equally important to monitor at the end of life. Um, I don't, I didn't get in a position where I needed a camera at the facilities where my parents were, but if you're concerned about it, certainly ask that question. Where you, by your phone, I mean, I could be in Australia and see what's going on in my house in Texas because of the camera system that I have set up. So it's just pretty easy and inexpensive to do. So if I can do it, you can do it. Um, Infection control. Make it clear to everyone that if they are sick, have been exposed to people that are sick, not to come visit you at your home. Still, at your home, have it very available as people walk in the door. If they can use hand sanitizer, there's a good place to wash up. After, maybe before touching you or after touching you, that's just really important. So hand sanitizer, soap, gloves, really helps support keeping the environment contagion free and no sick visitors. Okay. Creating a welcoming environment. This is kind of not a pet peeve, just a desire. When people come into your home for the first time, as people do, we all do, make first impressions. And as you're at the end of your life, you're going to have a lot of people that you don't know or don't know well that are coming in and out of your home to give you care. And you want that. You need that. Their first impressions could make the difference of whether you're able to stay at your home or not. If when people walk into the door, it is a welcoming environment, it's a clean environment, that makes an impression on the caregiver. Oh, I'm welcome here. Oh, this is a good place for this client or patient to be. And it doesn't matter how big the house is or how small the house is. I've been in really tidy small homes that were welcoming. And I have been in mansions that were a mess, and I just wanted to get out of there as fast as I could. So if you want to stay in your home, you want the entrance and you want the path to where they are going to be providing service to you to be clean and to be welcoming. Fresh flowers are always good. Anyway, this is going to encourage quality care, and it's going to give respect to the people that are coming to take care of you. And that love and respect goes both ways. And that's one way, even if you don't feel well, that you can respect others, because everybody deserves to work in a clean and safe environment. Okay. So the last thing I want to cover about being able to stay home is knowing when to call 911. In Australia, that's 000. So if you just right off the bat call 911, they will come immediately, which is a wonderful thing, and they will do everything they can to save your life, unless you have an advance directive, a DNR in place, that and an advocate that is there to say, no, they don't want this, don't do CPR. No, let's just get the comfort pack out and let's make them as comfortable as possible. And then you call your hospice case manager, and they talk to your doctor and go to that next transition level. So unless it's a broken bone, like a hip, unless it's impacted bowels, you can stay at home for the most part. I mean, I really can't think of another scenario. I'm sure they exist, but even Mother at the end had seizures, which if she didn't have Alzheimer's, I would have certainly called 911, but not in that case. And because I had the paperwork to back up the choice that I was making, um, I didn't give it a second thought. If you don't have the paperwork to back up the choices that your caregiver is making, then the choices that they're making could put them in a litigious situation that certainly they want to avoid, but you want to avoid for them. So if you're have the paperwork in place, you're under hospice, your first call would be to hospice and they'll take it from there. If you have a doula, you could call them. Whoever's giving the palliative care support, those would be the people that you would call. But definitely, if you don't have anyone to call and you have that medical alert, do that. 911 will, the ambulance will come. And if you don't have the capacity to speak for yourself about what you want, the emergency responders know to look inside a refrigerator for not only an advance directive, but a list of medications. And I think that's probably true everywhere. Here in Australia, we have our advance directive on a magnet on the refrigerator, but emergency technicians know to look there for an advance directive if you can't speak for yourself. So you need to figure out now, while you have capacity, while you feel well, if you're an early planner, you may be decades away from this event, but you want to really have thought this scenario through. And staying at home can be emotionally taxing and physically taxing, not only for you, but for the caregiver. But support is available if you use your local resources and know what kind of support is there. So just ask yourself some crucial questions, and I'll just read them. Will you choose more treatment or comfort care? Where are you? What is your threshold for aggressive care? And what does a good death look like to you? Now, it's relative. It's going to be different for different people. But I think everyone would say it has a lot of love and a lot of dignity and autonomy for as long as possible. So getting comfort care does not mean you are giving up. It is meaning that you have looked at the scenarios, you're making an informed decision, and this is the best outcome for yourself that you want at this time in your life. And it could extend your life because you've made that choice. It certainly will minimize suffering, and it's going to give you and the people that love you a peace and clarity that you need and want at the end of life. So this particular podcast, YouTube, wherever you're listening to it, has some action steps for you to take. And I hope you'll do this at some point. Evaluate your home room by room. See if it can be modified or arranged to suit an end-of-life scenario. Imagine the walker, imagine using the bathroom, things like that. If you haven't already talked to your doctor about your prognosis, what the likely trajectory of your disease will be, and plan for that. Let him know that, her know. You want to stay at home. You don't want to go to long-term care. And ask if they will support you to make that happen, if it's possible to make that happen. if you can, through your medical resources provided by your country, or hire yourself an occupational therapist. They are trained to walk through your space and make recommendations, and maybe even provide some assistive aids to make living in your home easier. Finalize your paperwork. If you haven't done that already, you have to have an advance directive. You have to have a DNR if you want to stay at home to die. You need a power of attorney. You need your medical power of attorney. And we haven't talked about this yet, but you need to keep an up-to-date medication list. Okay. Communicate openly with your family. Don't leave them guessing. Do not leave them guessing. Do not. Communicate with your family what you want. And just keep in mind that what you're doing, it really is an act of love. It's an act of self-love, and it's an act of love for your close family members. It is an intentional way to prepare and spend your final chapter in life. And you can put things in place to make it a really good memory, You know, the music, the meditation, nature, pets, just friends, loved ones, silence, just being in the moment. You can create that for yourself, and you can get others who can support you in doing that. So if you've waited till a crisis to put this together, it's a little late. Not saying it can't happen, but why put everyone through that chaos? You can do it well in advance. So anyway, I hope that this has helped you, or if you know someone, if they need to hear this message about making their home safe so they can stay at home, please forward this video to them or this podcast to them and have them listen to it. If you want more information, you can always go to our website, dyingyourway.com. There are a lot of free resources. There's an individual training that I recommend that everyone take, because at the end of that, you are creating an informed end of life plan after having gone through this training, and it's very affordable. This isn't easy to talk about. I know it. Believe me, I've lived it. I'm living it. It's not easy, but I just admire the courage that you have to even have the curiosity to make this a normal conversation to have. And I hope it brings you peace of mind, and I hope it gives you a lot of love from my heart to your heart. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Dying Your Way. If it's inspired you, then please spread the word. Leave a rating and review so others can find out about us. To learn more, connect with us on Facebook or our website at dyingyourway.com. A special thank you for the artist Mel Dobra for letting us use her song, Smoke and Flame, as the soundtrack of our show. I invite you to return, hear each episode, and be part of the conversation on death literacy. I am Claire O'Berry, and this is Dying Your Way.